Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Well, days are counting down to the big election in the Southwest. That is the Osun election coming next, following on the heels of the Ekiti election. In fact, some lessons learned in that election, no doubt need to be applied, and indeed it has been stated will be applied towards the successful conclusion of the election going on that will hold in Osun on the 16th. Well, to talk about the preparations and especially INEC's stated worry, as well as NGOs, that concerns over voter buying and selling are still very high. Well, to talk about this with me, one of them at least, is Mr. Diron Odeyemi. He's the former National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, who does have a horse in the race, in the sense that the main opposition party does have a candidate in this race. Good morning to you, Diron.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for making the
happy
time
to
for
be
us.
with you today.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. And as always, our appreciation to Senator Ajibola Bashiru, APC Osun State Central and spokesman of the Senate. Good morning to you, distinguished Senator.
Yeah, good morning, Yori. How are you?
Indeed. Very well, thank you. Everything seems to be in place. As INEC has said as much, INEC has said that they are fully ready for the Osun election on the 16th. But concerns are still very high, apparently, over concerns of vote buying, vote selling, indeed some criminal behavior and all of that kind of, in short, security. So the two of them are actually security issues. One, the vote buying, I beg your pardon, and that's all about the integrity of the elections. And the other is that of outright troublemakers. Let me start off with you, if I may, Senator Bashiru. What can you add to this, either by way of assuaging those concerns or underlining them, or indeed perhaps not agreeing with them? What's your take?
As far as I'm concerned, some of the concerns are not rooted in any scientific basis. For instance, I find it always very shocking. Anytime my political party win election, some people will have a reason to cast aspersion on the victory of my party. And I'm making reference here to Ekiti State. Assuming the results were otherwise, they would have been saying that is triumph of democracy, that is this, that is that. Now that my party won with overwhelming majority of more than 53% of the votes, then people come up with a funny story of allegations of vote buying and so on and so forth. As far as I'm concerned, some of those that are saying that are just bad losers. And fortunately, even the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State that came third had congratulated the winner. The SDP that came second, that initially was reluctant. I think Friday will be the last day for them to file a petition. So I wouldn't know whether they're going to file a petition. Be that as it may, on the issue of security, I think it is very important to say here that we have at least 3 video clips of chieftains of People's Democratic Party threatening violence ahead of the election. One, the candidate himself, Mola Adeleke, said it is fire for fire. We have it on tape. He said he has come for show with dollars, pound sterling, and then it is going to be fire for fire. Another stalwart of the PDP, Mr. Sonye Omiri, who is the candidate of the party for the 2023 House of Representatives election in the South Federal Constituency. We also have him on tape threatening violence. The third one is Larry Oyewumi, who was the DG of campaign of Demola Adeleke in 2018 election that they lost, and also presently the candidate of the PDP in the senatorial election, he also threatened violence intake, and we have it recorded. Also, a known wanted talk by name of Emir was received into the fold of the PDP, and it was seen yesterday in Osogbo among the convoy of the security of the candidate of the PDP, Mr. Demola Adeleke. And also, when you go to many of the places, you will see outright vandalization of the billboard of candidates of the APC. I have pictures of them to show in that regard. So we have concern that the People's Democratic Party in Osun, knowing that defeat is staring on their face because of the acceptability of our governor and the standing performance of our governor in the past 3.5 years, which is evidence in all sectors of our life, are already creating panic by trying to make actual threats of violence, which we have record and evidence to show, and actual perpetration of violence ahead of the election. Want to appeal
Senator,
to the People's Democratic Party that the life of Osun people is precious, that they cannot be sacrificed on the altar of anybody seeking power.
Now, this is well, thank you very much, Senator. Indeed, I think you put a lot on the table there for Mr. Diran Odeyemi to unpack. Mr. Diran Odeyemi is of the PDP. In fact, you recall I introduced him as former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. I do imagine, Diran, that you have a few things to say.
Not a few things. I have a lot to say in response to what my brother just said now. It's quite unfortunate if the distinguished senator is denying the fact that there was no vote buying in Ekiti State. From observers, even to INEC, to all security agencies, and as a matter of fact, some members of APC were arrested and they were to be prosecuted very soon. We all read it on the pages of this paper. We all knew it. And I want to say that perhaps PDP came third simply because we don't have the money to buy votes and we don't believe in vote buy. So if this distinguished senator could come on air and tell Nigerians outright that there was no vote buying in Ekiti, that was the credibility of the party that made them to win that election, I want to believe that he's not saying the truth. Why not say he's not lying? I want to avoid that. He is a lawyer. Now, coming to the issue of security in Ekiti, sir, you need to watch the video of a traditional ruler yesterday, that is the Ataoja of Osogbo, condemning vehemently the atrocity perpetrated within his palace by APC thugs. And what happened? When Oyetola came to the palace to do his campaign in Osogbo, he was not harassed. The only thing was that people boycotted that campaign. And nobody, that's why the fact that he showed his head on the roof of the car, waving to the people, nobody waved back. And nobody said anything to him. So the thugs felt very bad about it, and they started harassing and intimidating people around the palace. Oyetola went in, did his own campaign, and went out. Nobody harassed him. But yesterday, simply because the people of Osogbo trooped out to welcome our candidates, they wanted to see him. They were clapping, rejoicing, ready to welcome him to the palace. The APC thugs bombarded the palace and wounded not less than 10 people who are now in the hospital. And this was made known to Kabiyesi by the traditional to cause crisis in Osogbo, especially. This is not the only way. This is not the only thing we have against them. We have complained severally. We have addressed series of press conferences about violence against our members, about intimidation and harassment of the electorate. Up to the present moment, the security agencies have not come up with any finding simply because they are being sponsored or they are conniving with APC. I'm saying this. because we wrote a petition to the Inspector General of Police. I want to believe that it was part of the reason why the Commissioner of Police in Osun State was posted out, even though we had this morning again that he has been reinstated on the order of the governor, because that is where they waived their strategy. They waived their strategy around the police and that particular Commissioner of Police. So we are yet to see. We will confirm that this afternoon. But I want to say, Senator Ajibola Bashir made mention of posters and billboards. It's quite unfortunate that he's complaining or he's saying that their billboard were vandalized. I want to put it to you, sir, distinguished senator. If your candidate or the governor is that popular, he doesn't need any poster again. He has been there for the past 3 years. He doesn't need any campaign, any campaign. His achievement should be the campaign for him. But here you are, because of the popularity of our own candidate, you have destroyed all the billboards made with millions of naira in Osogbo. And what you did as a strategy was just to destroy too few of yours, just to accuse us that it was PDP that was destroyed. This is your strategy. We know this. We made complaint to the police. We made complaint to the SSS. But it's quite unfortunate that up till the present moment, no one, and I'm repeating, no one in Osun State has been arrested for this vandalization, either on the part of APC or on the part of PDP. This left much to be desired for the kind of security or the kind of issues that we face in Osun. And you mentioned 3 people as having threatened your members of Osun State. Maybe you will need to add me, because what I'm going to tell you now, or what I want Nigerians to know, is that if after 48 hours, the security agencies fail to come to our rescue or fail to declare outright the tongue you are using, then we will advise our members to protect themselves within the ambit of the law. There is no law that forbids anybody protecting himself. We will protect ourselves. This harassment has to stop. So maybe you will join me as the first person.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dino Odeyemi. Well, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, and indeed, for that matter, Mr. Dino Odeyemi, this doesn't sound very reassuring because it seems that there's a mutual suspicion going on, and what everybody wants is, you want the peace, you want peace in the land, and if APC is suspecting PDP of mischief and says it has evidence, PDP is saying that it has its own evidence that APC is part of the problem vis-a-vis the issue of violence in Osun. Perhaps, Senator, you'll see that there's an issue here that needs to be addressed. The peace meetings that we hear about, would both of you, and I'm speaking with the senator right now, would both of you, do you think, I don't know if you can speak for your parties, but do you think that your people would be agreeable to attending such a meeting so that some of these, I say misunderstandings, whatever, can be ironed out so we go into the election not in an acrimonious kind of mien? Senator Bashiru.
I think from what Dino Odeyemi has said there, you can see who the warring party is here in this instance. If he has gone on television station, being watched worldwide, to say that he would tell the people to take law into their hands.
Senator, he didn't actually say that. Senator, he didn't go that far.
Don't change it. You are a lawyer.
Dino, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to give you a chance of rebuttal. Dino, please.
I think he should be more civil. He made so many statements. I did not interject, and I expected him as an elderly person and possibly somebody who is well versed in the art of debate to show some level of modicum of respect and the decorum when we are doing such kind of debate. He made so many allegations. I kept my calm with that, and it shows lack of temperament and modicum for even simple debate here. So what I'm saying is this: I'm a legal practitioner. I have a PhD in law. There is no law in Nigeria that says anybody can use violence even to protect yourself. So if he has read that law in that regard, maybe he's getting a very wrong legal advice. The essence for which there is a security agencies in the country is to ensure that there is law and order, it is secure.
Okay.
If everybody is free to take the law into their hand, then we're in the state of what Thomas Hobbes called state of anarchy, where life is nasty, short, and brutish. May that day may never come. And secondly, too, he has obviously not denied the video evidence of 3 persons that I referred to. He has only aired on public television to add himself to that list. Then on what he said, a traditional ruler said yesterday, I would not have wanted to comment on it. But as a legal practitioner, there is a rule, they call it rule of natural justice. They call it Hodi Oteram pattern. They call it hear the other side. And Yoruba also have it in their own native jurisprudence. Agbejo enekonda, agbo oshikani. So if there are allegations right in the palace of the traditional ruler he mentioned, and the traditional ruler did not even bother to conduct any investigation, and he relied to make provocative statements on the basis of allegation by one side without any inquiry, it speaks to the sense of natural justice, not only of those who made the allegations and of that particular traditional ruler that obviously proclaimed that it was put in place by the People's Democratic Party. I have the video to that effect. But
okay.
I don't believe the business of traditional rulers to engage in politics, and I will not make any aspersion on the credibility of any traditional ruler. But as a legal practitioner, I will say that you must hear the other side before you make a judgment on the matter. And that is rooted.
Okay, Senator. Okay, I hear all of that, Senator. Senator, I hear you there. Indeed, you've rebutted the things that you needed to rebut. And I'll be going back to Dino. But additionally, you haven't addressed the issue of a peace accord between all of the parties that will be engaging in the election. Whether you have the feeling
on that one, where I'm telling you on my honor, I'm telling you on my honor as a legal practitioner, a notary public, and the district senator of Federal Republic of Nigeria, that my party is irrevocably committed to peace. So when people make allegations, that's what I'm just trying to address. The traditional ruler he mentioned referred to one Assyrian Niba, who is a chief in his palace. That chief in his palace was in the law at the material time the claim allegation arose. And that was why I said that it is wrong for anybody to make a decision and to make determination without hearing the other side.
Okay, let me quickly go to Senator, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, Senator. I got to quickly go back to Diron now. Thank you very much, Senator. Diron, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I shouldn't have said go ahead. I wanted to ask you the same question. I beg your pardon, Diron. I wanted to ask you the same question I had asked the senator, which he answered, in the last leg of his response, whether you can speak for your party to the effect that they will be irrevocably committed to a peace accord, any kind of a meeting, any kind of a move, any kind of a signing to guarantee that there will be no misbehavior from your supporters.
We welcome that wholeheartedly, and I can tell you that I'm speaking for the party, I'm representing the party, and we are not the aggressor here. We are even crying out to Nigerians, and we are begging Nigerians to protect us from APC because of this harassment and intimidation of the electorate. So we are not the aggressor here. We are ready and committed to peace in Osun. And we are not fighting with anybody. And I even want to say that Governor Electoral is a complete gentleman. It's only people like Bashiru and others who are behind
sorry, Mr. Deyemi, you can't go there. You can't, you know how we do, you know how we do. Please, mutual respect is what we depend on here. He will respect you, but you must do the same for him, even if you are going to be rebutting. Thank you very much.
Yori, I must say here that you cannot just, sorry, Yori, I need to say this. You cannot just say Bashiru. I'm not his houseboy. I'm a senator of Federal Republic of Nigeria. I deserve for him to make a statement. And secondly, too, I want to also say, no, I must tell you this thing. Politics is going to end. Omoluabi will not end. I want to say, on my honor, I've been a legal practitioner, a senior legal practitioner. I've never had any case of dismissal against me. The fact that I engage in politics does not mean people will make statements that are defamatory. And I want to say, and I say this, I'm not threatening you. If defamatory statements are made about me, notwithstanding I was on the live television, I will not hesitate to file action against anybody in that regard.
Okay.
My reputation
Well, distinguished
is at
Senator,
hand, and it's intact.
thank you very much for your calm. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We do need to keep this fruitful, and I trust Mr. Odeyemi can handle matters. Maybe that was something of a flare of temper, Mr. Odeyemi. Did you want to continue on this whole matter of peace, ensuring peace on the election day itself? And the kind of salvos that one is getting from here, I'm afraid, worry one. That if the leaders sound like this, many of your supporters might be watching. What are they to take away from this? So that is why I was asking if you could sort of, that is, and you said that you are 100% behind any peace accord. But beyond you, schooling your teaming members in what to do, what not to do, how to behave, is work going on in that regard? Because I can see that there seems to be some tension.
Yes. I will not deny the fact that there is tension in Osun State. And this tension is as a result of the harassment of our people. I'm saying it emphatically, Nigerians are watching. And I've just mentioned it to you that we have addressed series of press conferences regarding the attack on our members in Ilesha, in Ijebu-Jesha, in Osogbo.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you something, Dino. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Let me ask you something. Do you have a suggestion between now and the 16th that could happen so that to remove most of this, if it won't disappear like switching off a light? Do you have any suggestion that, look, subject to this, this, and this, then you see that we could have a good time on election day?
By the special grace of God, what you are even doing for the two parties now that Nigerians are watching is enough to say that perhaps there will be modicum of respect and peace in Osun State, because Nigerians are listening now. It's now left for the Inspector General of Police and the SSS to take action, because I'm not hiding the fact, and I'm not denying the fact that we have written a series of petitions, but nothing has been done. And what I am saying in essence is there is limitation to human endurance. There is limitation to human endurance, and nobody has monopoly of anything. We have done, we have behaved as a Nigerian, that as an indigenous of Osun State that wants peace. And I've been talking to our people, don't retaliate, don't do anything, keep your peace. We know we are winning this election. But people who want to live, we don't want to live by it, easily. It's normal in politics. We understand that. Don't let them provoke you. All this has been our preaching to them. But everything has got, there is limitation.
Okay, well.
We are for peace. We are even begging them, stop harassing us, stop intimidating the electorate. Let this election go peacefully, and let the people of Osun State select who they want to govern them.
Okay, well, Senator, you just heard it there. Whereas Dino is confident, he says his problem is the ruling party, and that it is their behavior that is intimidating. So I wanted to ask you, Senator, whatever you feel about that, I know you let me know. Do you also have any suggestions as to what can be done to remove most of what appears to be some sort of acrimony? I don't know if it really extends to the parties themselves, but maybe this is just the leaders. This is a live program, and it's an emotive subject. Do you have anything by way of suggestion that can be done to make sure that we don't carry this atmosphere into the election?
You can see that I don't know whether you watched me when he was talking. I was just laughing. I'm serious, and I'm not laughing as an act of drama, but I'm just laughing because most of the things he's saying is laughable, and they are not, rooted in empirical facts. My political party, just like their own political party, are embarked on campaign from one local government to local government. As at yesterday, my political party had campaigned in 28 local government, remaining Ife South, or remaining 3 local governments, Ife South, Olonda, and Orulu, which are going to compete this week, except for an incident in the Gbongan, which we immediately informed the police, and the culprit was arrested, and some minor incidents in Malaysia. All through the campaign effort, we have not had any challenge. And I also know, and I'm speaking empirically, you can stop me. PDP have also campaigned almost in every local government, except what he said yesterday, which I know he was not investigated before the so-called traditional ruler with respect. Was making a one-sided statement. I've not seen how many of their campaigns have been disrupted. And I say this solemnly, that before I agreed and drew up the campaign for our own political party and itinerary for our candidate, I got a copy of their campaign, and we made sure that we did not go to any area that they were campaigning throughout the campaign. And if you go and check our schedule of campaign, there's no area. If they go to West Senatorial District in one day, we make sure we put our own campaign at East Senatorial District. These are practical things that we have done in ensuring that we don't even meet on the road when we are campaigning. And I don't think there's been any instance we even met on our way to any campaign. It was not done out of, it's not apples chance. It was done carefully planned. And that is why I laughed when they mentioned my name, that I'm behind any plan to attack anybody. I will say, since 2011, I've been part of all elections of my political party in Osun, and we have been successful in that election. 2022, July 16, will not be an exception to that trail of success of our political party. So
okay, Senator, one moment, please. Senator, I've got to come in here. I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Senator. Wait, let me pick up. INEC has noticed some misbehavior. I'm using these light words so as not to aggravate the situation. The misbehavior of some thuggery resulting in the loss of PVC machines, which INEC has moved in to replace. If one can go by newspaper reports, and why can't we? They say that we're in the process of replacing that now. But INEC does say, this is an independent party now, INEC independently says that it is very, very concerned, and this is coming off the back of happenings in the Ekiti election about vote selling and vote buying, and has invited all manner of security agencies to become very, closely involved in the process. You endorse this, do you, Diona?
Yes, going by what we have seen as preparation by INEC in Osun State, there is much to be desired. I'm saying this because of what is in operation right now. And this is that there are thousands of people who are eager to collect their ballot, their voters' card.
Could I beg your pardon, could I beg your pardon, please, to put you on pause for a while, because Kesandu has been waiting on the line to speak to us all through the break. And I think I just lost him there. I just lost him right there. So apologies to Kesandu. You stayed right through the break, and then unfortunately I forgot to put you on. So go ahead, continue, please.
So what we want INEC to do is to ensure that they distribute this PVC to everybody, irrespective of the agent or political party that has taken their office as, another residence, so as to be able to show who is to collect their PVC and who is not. This is happening. And I'm saying it live on TV again. This is not an allegation that cannot be verified. What I'm saying in essence is, in most of the local governments, the APC agents are in INEC offices. When our members went there to collect their PVC, they will tell them the PVC are not ready. They are not there. They will chase them away. But when APC people comes to collect their PVC, because they have their agent, known agent, mostly party, party chairman, they are the one that will now collect the names, take it inside, and collect the PVC for their people.
Okay, one moment, please.
And we want it
Mr. Diron, one moment, please. First of all, I'm going to come to Senator Bashiru, but before then, Mr. George has come on the line. Good morning to you, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guests. Uncle Yori, I think we need to concentrate on the aspect of vote buying and the need for security agencies to be alert during the Osun elections. I personally find it difficult to believe that one political party will destroy billboards, vote the ones for the opponent, and destroy some of his own, so that people will believe that that one, I don't know how to buy it. But one thing is clear. There is no love lost between these two political parties. And every precaution needs to be taken to prevent violence on the election day. So INEC needs a lot to be done, and the security people also needs to do a lot and know how to. It's good that you are putting the two parties on the screen for people to see, so that the security agencies will know what kind of assignment that awaits them there. But the aspect of vote buying, when there is no seller, Uncle Yori, there can be no buyer. Those who are selling the votes are the ones we need to persuade not to sell again and convince them why they should not sell anymore. But as it is now, it is the gentleman from the PDP says they do not have money to buy. That means if they have money, they will also buy. So the issue remains that
good enough, we don't have money to buy. We are not in government like this.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. George. We're going to have to leave it here. Yes, did say that they don't have money to buy anything. So apparently, there you go, Senator. Senator Bashiru, all the money is in APC. Seems to be the unspoken allegation. Jokes apart, INEC has said that it is worried following on observations at the Ekiti election. And this is why I've been trying to sort of see if, I know you guys are not, it's not personal. I understand that. It's not personal at all between you. But the parties and the people listening, your members, APC members, PDP members, lest they take a lead from what they are seeing and say, because I saw Mr. Odeyemi, I saw him nod his head when Mr. George, who called in, said that there's hardly any love lost between these two parties. Mr. Odeyemi nodded his head. I was a bit disappointed. I would have thought he would have downplayed that and have said that, nah, it's the back is a lot worse than the bite. But apparently, the back is as strong as the bite. Senator, over to you, sir.
I want to first say, as much as possible, you see, I deal with facts and figures. It will be preposterous if we bring their parlor gossip to national television and brand it as fact. On the issue of the PVC, there are about 14 political parties that are contesting that election. So I wouldn't know where they will give a tag on the head of a prospective voter to say whether it is an APC voter or a PDP voter or a Labour Party voter. Then secondly, too, you see, our party are trying to get information. I tell you that we have challenges that people complaining that they have not been able to get their PVC. I have it on a good, authority that the PVC are still going to be decentralized to the world level even during the festive season, because many of our supporters also complain of access to PVC. So rather than come with the conspiracy theory of a political party having the exclusive preserve or collecting PVC to the other, I expect that the People's Democratic Party should have done the same thing my Directorate of Campaign has done, to approach INEC and ask questions pointedly. Why are we having challenges of collection of PVC? And we were informed that just 2 days ago, and the chairman of INEC, I think it was in Osun as yesterday, they came with a new batch of PVC to be distributed, and that will go to the registration areas, from today and during the festive season. So that is verifiable information that they can also, get to INEC as a political party and make necessary inquiry, rather than come to make, conspiratorial, theory allegations on national television.
Okay, one moment, sir. One moment, sir, because I'm in danger of losing another caller, and I don't want to do that. So let me bring on Emmanuel, who has been waiting in Otukpo. Good morning to you, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to your guests.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I think we should stop playing politics of desperation. Let us go on issues. And Nigerians are tired of this politics of promises and not performance. If you have issues, campaign on your issues. And there is so much spurious allegations coming in this particular interview. The PDP guy is very combative, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be civil. He should talk to the guy from the APC side with some level of decency. You see, all parties are guilty of buying votes, all parties. And I can't understand why he thinks PDP will be singled out for the agents, so-called agents of APC in the INEC office to say, don't give this one PVC, give this one PVC. Look, let's play politics of decency. According to the late Professor Samuel, apologies to him, he said that Nigerian politicians are in two groups, political thinkers and political scavengers. The thinkers will think, and because they have a level of conscience and fear of God, they will be considerate when they do politics. But the scavengers, they don't have fear of God, and they don't have any form of conscience. So all things go, whether it is fresh or it is rotten, they will eat. We cannot play that kind of politics. So I encourage Nigerian politicians to be civil and decent when they come on air like this. Thank you very much, Uncle Yori. God bless Nigeria.
Well, thank you very much for your contribution. You know, the ongoing conversation, you know, there have been spats here, but both gentlemen, you know, they've sort of settled down. It is the subject matter, and quite frankly, some of it has been expected, it being political in nature. But both gentlemen are saying that they are committed to peace. What probably our viewers are wanting is that, well, let it show a bit more between them, let there be a bit more love, you know, but, you know, the combativeness is what I had already said that I was a bit concerned myself that supporters of the APC and supporters of the PDP might be watching this program, and the last thing we want to happen, I imagine, all of us, is for people to take their leadings from some of the spats that happened earlier. But both gentlemen, I think we can concentrate on that. In addition to the issues that is being spoken about now, but we can concentrate on the fact that both gentlemen, you know, say that they have no qualms whatsoever with seeking out peace and doing whatever it takes. Although in saying that, they will also add one or two examples that are not as savory as you might want. Somebody else is on the line? Okay, sorry, not somebody on the line. Just to say that we are joining live in Imo State, the Nigerian Army Day celebration. In it's the final day. It started on the 1st and right up until the 6th. That this is the final day. It is being covered live by TVC. But I don't know. I still have. I think diaspora can still watch us. Yes, diaspora can still watch us. And you know, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, APC Osun Central Senate spokesman, and Mr. Adeyemi, veteran journalist, former Deputy National Publicity Secretary, PDP. We are still here. And of course, the lines are also open for those that can call in, whether Nigeria or diaspora. So, Mr. Adeyemi, somebody felt that maybe you could have sort of explained that, as I was saying, the bark is often much worse than the bite, and that these people are not to read, you know, aggressiveness, combativeness into whatever it is you say. Because from time to time you smile, and in fact, both of you gentlemen have given us chuckles here and there to sort of put perspective on some of those things that are being said. Did I read you right, Mr. Adeyemi?
Yes. I want to tender my apology for whatever I might have said that is not right to my brother or in the eye of Nigerians. But why I'm so pained is the fact that as I'm talking to you right now, we have people in the hospital. who were beaten and, who were beaten mercilessly, and they suffered lots of cuts and lost blood yesterday, just yesterday. If you see the way they said yesterday, in fact, you will understand where I'm coming from. But all the same, I tender my apology for my reaction. But having said that, I want to appeal that we should go into this election with the mindset that we allow the electorate to choose who they want as their governor, not with violence in any way. And I want to say it again, we don't have bottles. We don't have them. If you know of anybody that calls himself or that we engage as talk, please point the person out to security agents and make sure he is arrested. Or at our own level, we have made allegations. We have mentioned names. Nothing is being done.
Okay.
That perhaps is the pain that I have. But all the same, I apologize.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much for your graciousness, Mr. Odeyemi. You therefore, I can conclude, entirely on all fours with INEC, saying that it has invited all the relevant security agencies in on this particular challenge of to foil any attempts to buy or sell votes. You're on all fours with that. Okay.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
I say, from what you are saying, you are in total agreement with INEC, yes, saying that it has invited, all manner of relevant security agencies to, join in the campaign against. I use the word campaign, but they're there to prevent any form of vote buying or rigging to the extent that is humanly possible. You sign up for that entirely.
I appreciate the logic pointed out that because I said we don't have the money, and that if we had the money, perhaps we would have joined the APC in buying votes. But I want to say that we will assist security agencies to make arrests on that day if there is any vote buy, because we will not encourage it. We are preaching against it, and we will work against it. Okay. That is what we stand for in PDP, and that's what we are telling our members. Because we know without vote buying, PDP will win this election on the 15th of July.
Okay. Senator Bashiru, so, I can take it for granted as well that you are entirely identified with INEC inviting in relevant security agencies to make sure that there is no untoward behavior, especially in the area of buying or selling votes. Never mind who has money to buy, never mind who doesn't have money to buy.
You see, it's also been economical with the truth, even with the fact that they did not have money. We knew what they did. Yes, we knew it. Now talking about it, I don't like taking issue personal with anybody, but I will know those people who, though they claim they are not politicians, but they are milking the country dry economically, and they're using the money to fund, some people to accede to political power. But I'm not given to reducing intellectual discourse, to personal, matter. But of course, the reasonable deduction that the caller made was that perhaps if they had more money, they would have been able to use it to buy votes in the kitty. But in Osun, I'm very confident that my governor and the party will win. We, in the past 3.5 years, have been able to resonate to our people. It will interest you. You may want to deny it. Contrary to what happened all over the country, in the past 3.5 years that Governor Electoral had been in government, no store in the public sector had been on strike for 1 minute, not talk of 1 hour, because he has remained committed to ensuring the upliftment of the workers in the public sector in the state. And this has also percolated to the informal sector, by which the governor has supported the informal sector with an interest-free loan, in excess of 2 billion naira.
Okay.
And in terms of infrastructure development, in fact, the homestead of the candidate of the PDP in 2018, who is also their candidate, was the first port of call of infrastructure intervention of Governor Isaka Agboigbo-Itola.
Okay.
When we were in Ede on this week, the paramount ruler of Ede.
Senator, I beg your pardon, sir. Luckily, you've I beg your pardon, Senator. Luckily, you've covered this ground earlier, so I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you because we've run out of time. But I did want to point out. I did want to point out that Mr. Odeyemi did make amends for whatever he might have said that might have appeared one way. You heard that, and of course, you accept that.
What I'm used to him, I'm not angry with him. He's my son now. I'm not angry with him. If he did not do that, possibly, I mean, he may get sanctioned at country home.
Well, I'm afraid we've got to leave it here, but I want to thank you both, gentlemen, because you've given us something of a snapshot to the terrain, so to speak. Everybody has their work cut out for them, but looking at those smiles, gentlemen, on the left and on the right of me, I know it's not an impossible task. In fact, it's a very doable task. I want to thank you both, gentlemen, Diron Odeyemi, former Deputy National Publicity Secretary, PDP, and Senator Ajibola Bashiru, Osun, APC Osun Central, and Senate spokesman. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right, then. Cheers.
So we invited you.